What's up, gang? Welcome back to Janette TV. My name is Janette. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If this is your first time with me, make sure you lock into my channel by clicking on that subscribe button and also by clicking on the notification bell. That way you'll never miss an episode of anything that I do here. Today I want to talk to you guys about effective parenting. So if you are interested in hearing more about that, make sure you stick around to the end of the video. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
Grab the camera, I'll say cheese. What am I supposed to do? When my life look like my pictures do. What? He still ain't posted you. Come let me show you what you supposed to do. Go, boss up on that dude. Go show these niggas they can't F with you. Look what you made me do. I gotta show you how real I'm. I've been loyal to myself. I don't need nobody else.
Now, if you know me, you know I am very passionate about parenting. I think it's the biggest role on earth here is to lead up the next generation. So when God blesses you with a child, you have to take that job very, very, very seriously. At the end of the day, we all have had our own childhood, and we all have our own path, and we all had things that we had to battle and fight and get over throughout our childhood that we should want our children to avoid now that we have them. So we don't want to try to put our children through the same pain that we experienced, which is the reason that it's so important to heal, especially if you're a parent. This video can be for anybody. This can be for people who are thinking of having children, anybody really, current parents. But I just really wanted to get on here and really stress to you guys the importance of effective parenting. Now, you do not want your children to be a product of their environment if their environment is a bad environment. You want to create a positive environment for your child to grow up in. That way you can ensure their success. We all know at the end of the day, kids are going to do what they're going to do, just like we did. Our parents raised us to be a certain way, and we still chose different paths other than the ones that they put us on. And sometimes it's a good or a bad thing. But I know if you're like me, you don't want your kids to go through any trauma. So a lot of people were abused as kids, physically, sexually. A lot of people were disrespected as kids, made to be insecure, talked down to, talked down on. They just weren't made to believe in themselves. If more people were made to believe in themselves as a child, then a lot more people would be successful today. Some of us just come out, the womb, unfortunately, having to go through battle after battle after battle to where our adulthood is when we finally get that sense of peace and freedom. Now, our kids are going to be reflections of us, just like we're reflections of our parents. We're either the complete opposite of our parents or we're exactly like them. And I know for me growing up, when I saw my parents, I'm like, I just don't want to be in this situation. I don't want to recreate this narrative when I have a child. And that one decision that I made for myself is fueling my decisions today to make sure that I'm not like my parents, because ultimately, people can only give you what they have to give. So the parents that you had raised you based off their parents, right? What their parents gave to them or what their parents did not give to them, because that's how we learn our lessons, through life experiences. Now, some people are really messed up in the head and they want their children to go through exactly what they went through. And that's when we see toxic parents come into play. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story about my childhood. That way you can kind of get an idea of exactly what I'm talking about. So my mom specifically let me know she was picked on as a kid for certain things. Now, when I was growing up and she told me this, I really didn't think too much of it, because at the end of the day, when I went to school, I didn't really get picked on. But there was one thing specifically that I did get picked on for in school, and that was for not wearing a bra. Now, when I think you start changing the locker room with other kids in 6th grade, if I'm not mistaken. So starting in 6th grade, I remember not wearing a bra. So I had to get undressed into my gym clothes throughout the day, to play in gym class. And everybody's looking at me because I don't have on a bra. I had these very, very small titties. They were like little nubs. And people don't know, school is really where insecurity starts. And me not wearing a bra led to me getting picked on or talked about for not wearing a bra. People around the school would talk about this, and that's something that was known about me. And sometimes I'll lean down and my shirt will be exposed and my little titties, they'd be showing and stuff, and people see it that way. But it really, really, really stuck with me for a long time. I had to beg my mom. My mom did not get me a bra till I was well in high school. I'm talking 11th grade type. You get what I'm saying? Like that. And all I kept thinking was like, why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me so much that you want me to go to school and get picked on? I'm telling you, everybody else in the class is wearing a bra. Why do I have to be the outcast? Why are you wanting me to be different? Her excuse every time that I asked for a bra was, you don't have nothing to put a bra on. That's all she kept saying. But literally, there's something growing on my chest, so I need a bra. They have A cups for a reason. But my mom, God bless her heart, she wasn't healed, so she could not put herself in a place to be like, okay, if I got picked on for this when I was in school, I would want my kid to avoid the same thing. So maybe I should go buy her this bra she's asking me for to avoid that. Way we can at least alleviate some of her stress that she's experiencing or encountering throughout the day when she goes to school. But my parents never thought like that. And my dad, of course, did not take up for me with that. They were both on the same page with that, but it really, really, really stuck with me. And I made a point to, again, be a different type of parent. Now, that little example, consciously, she's not thinking about it like, I'm trying to embarrass Unique. But subconsciously, that's why her spirit is not allowing her to do something for me that she knows would make me feel better. And we just kind of have to take inventory on the type of things that we got picked on for as a kid, where we lived at. Kids are cruel anyway. But where we lived at, what we drove as kids, what we wore to school, it's just so many things that kids will pick on you for. And that can lead to a list of other things. It can lead to you fighting during school, not paying attention, skipping class, bullying. Or, even down to, you'll take yourself up out of here. And we see it happen every day because the parent is not listening to their child. So when I say effective parenting, I mean parenting that is getting you the results that you're looking for in your household, okay? In life, period, because we are ultimately raising these little human beings that are going to be the next generation. All our kids are going to be interacting with each other in the future, which is why I want other parents to get on board with effective parenting. Don't put your child through the same trauma that you experienced. If you know that something happened to you in your childhood, think about what you can do to make sure your child does not go through the same thing. Me, I decided on homeschooling. You understand? Not only because I don't want my child to be influenced to make the wrong decisions by other kids in his class, I also don't want him to look at the world through a superficial lens like a lot of people my age do right now. A lot of people my age are materialistic because it started in the household as a child. Parents wanted to make sure their kids came to school looking better than everybody else, which is fine. I completely stand behind that. But the parents who don't care about their children, it is evident in how their children makes an appearance. Your children's clothes are always wrinkled. They're not put together at all. They look like that nobody loves them. You understand? You're not even putting lotion on their face or making sure that they brush their teeth to avoid getting picked at for their breath. It's just, you're not telling them to put on chapstick. You're not telling them to put on deodorant. You're not buying the right deodorant that works for their body type. You're not buying the right type of clothes to fit them. You're handing down clothes from one kid to another, even though the older kid got picked on for the same clothes. You understand? I remember my parents used to put me in the biggest clothes ever. Like it ultimately helped me build thick skin. I was the type of person in school where I could pick at another kid. Like somebody came at me, I got the jokes back. So people really decided to leave me alone because they're like, I don't want to get cracked on, because even though you may think you're better than me because you have this, and that, there's something about you that I could pick out that I know would make you very insecure, and I'm going to work on that. And that's how I became who I am today. But I choose not to make my child that. I choose not to make him into who I was made to become as I was growing up, because I don't have to. If we can prevent things from happening to our child, why don't we do that? Why don't we stop putting them in situations? I saw a mom post on TikTok yesterday a video of her son saying he wasn't going to camp. Instead of sitting right there listening and talking with her son, she's filming, laughing, making a video because he's getting bullied at summer camp. Like, where's the effective parenting? First of all, let's get the cameras out of these kids' faces and really have conversations with them so we can build healthy relationships. Because at the end of the day, our kids may be with us right now talking to us and everything, but after they turn 18, they can make their own decisions, and them deciding whether or not they want you in their life is going to be a direct result of the type of parent that you are to them. Okay? You want to make sure that you are a parent, but at the same time that you also are a friend to them. You want to make sure that they fear you enough to not do things that you don't want them to do, but at the same time that there's still a level of carefreeness between you guys where they still feel comfortable talking to you. You can't beat your kid all the time, because then they'll fear you and they'll be super scared of you and they won't confide in you or tell you anything that's going on with them, right? But if you make sure that you only whip them or discipline them when they truly deserve it, when they did something that they can never do again, when they did something that absolutely needs an intervention to make sure it doesn't happen again, then they will respect you more, because they know, like, mama don't get like this all the time, like daddy don't get like this all the time, so I know I really messed up this time. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta make sure that y'all are healing yourselves. That way you guys can make sure you heal these kids. These kids do not have to grow up the way we did. These kids don't have to experience half the things we did. These kids don't have to learn the hard lessons that we did, because we already went through it for them, to prevent them from having to experience that same trauma. And for those of you who know, y'all know I don't really talk to my parents at all, and that's a direct result of how they parented me, you know. And they may have think they did the best they could, and I'm sure they did, you know, because I'm an adult now and I get it. Life is hard, life is real, and if you are not putting yourself in the right environment, then you can succumb to the circumstances that you're in. So, you know, I don't think my parents ever sit right there and be like, you know, maybe I could have did something differently, or maybe, you know, I should change who I am, because y'all could be whoever you want to be up until I'm 18. But after I'm 18, if you're still that way, I can choose to distance myself from you. I talk to people all the time and they be like, you know, what's your relationship with your parents? And I say I don't have one. And they be, oh no, you gotta talk to your parents, blah, blah, blah. Like, stop. Everybody's path is different. We all have different journeys for a reason. My path made me who I am, so I can be who I'm going to become. And yours the same, okay? Vice versa. A lot of us are still messed up in the head. Not me particularly, but a lot of people are still not healed, and we see it on social media every day. I see evidence of unhealed people all day on social media, all day, and it makes me worried for the kids that they're raising. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys, you know, some food for thought, to make sure that you guys don't recreate the same relationship with your kid that you have with your parent, unless it's a healthy one. Okay? Our kids are going to be able to make decisions for themselves one day. You want them to choose you. Okay? I hope you got something from my message. If you did, make sure you check out some of my other messages, and I will see you in the next video. Janique here, Janique TV. Peace.